Hello everybody here at the Coherence Meditation Gym. This is a chat in preparation for Blessing of the Energy Centers 4. So we are scheduled to do that this Saturday. So this chat is an informal chat based on Dr. Joe's explanation that comes with Blessing of Energy Centers 4. There is a almost 10-minute explanation that comes with it where I've taken notes from this explanation and wrote them down, and this is a just me sharing from this explanation so that we can know what we're doing, deepen our practice, and give us some just some ideas of how to best prepare for and be ready for the meditation. Welcome everyone, Celine and Rula, Chris, Diane, thank you for being live. Please feel free to comments, questions. I'll do my best based on my personal experience and based on the explanation, the notes that I have. This meditation is about 1 hour and 4 minutes long. The best way so each one is built one upon the other. So this one being 4, 1, 2, and 3, are the foundation of this one. And so we know where they are. We know that we're moving from 1 to 8, and as we move through them, we're blessing them. We're focusing on each energy center to the particle, to the matter, and then to the energy around each one. That's the convergent and divergent focus. And but this one in particular is slightly different because we're not moving up each one in sequence, one after the other. We're actually going to be blessing 1, then up to 2, and then before we move to the next one, we actually focus on the ones that we have already blessed. So it's almost like we're tracing or we're activating them as we activate 1, we focus on 1, and then when we move to 2, before we move to 2, we just focused on 1. So actually when we move to 3, that makes more sense. When we move to 3, before we move to 3, we focus on 1 and 2 together. Then when we focus on 4, before we go to 4, we focus on 1, 2, 3 together, and then we move to 4. I know it sounds a little bit confusing, but I think once we follow his instructions, it obviously makes sense. We just, following along in the meditation. But as, something just to notice that if we've been doing 1, 2, and 3, where each one we go one by one, and what's different about this one is that before we move up to the next one, we're also becoming aware and focus on the ones that we have already blessed all together as one. It's almost like the way I like to think about it is like we're lighting them up. It's like you're lighting up, like 1 and then 2. And then when you go to 3, you light up 1, 2, and 3. And then you keep going up. So that's the difference, the slight difference in the sequence. Hope I didn't confuse you more, but again, when we follow along, it's just going to make sense. And this one, Dr. Joe mentions that he practiced and he started teaching this one in 2016 when he started traveling a lot and having to, sleep at different times. So he was, I guess, jet lagged and just having to eat, and his whole, schedule was upside down. So and if you've been to an event and watched him like for 7 days, go full, because he is there the whole time giving all his love and attention, and you wonder, like, how does he do that? Where does he get so much energy? So this makes sense, you know, once you understand it and then do it. It's pretty exciting to think about, like, doing BOTEC4 to like charge you up big time, like, you know, recharge your battery. So he, you know, he mentions that he used to, well, he started teaching this as you know, his own practice of charging his energy with, you know, his own busy life of being constantly in different time zones, different countries, eating, sleeping, and lecturing in different countries. So obviously the body's going to need that charge at you know, something other than sleep and eating as a form of replenishing your energy. So okay, so our model, you know, our model is all disease is the lowering of energy and our energy centers having incoherent messages. So the body loses vital energy, and when we lose this vital energy, it has to draw it from somewhere. So it draws it from the invisible field of energy, you know, around us, and that's when we become more matter and less energy. So stress, this is something very you know, by now I hope that we get this model, right? Like when we are in stress, we become more matter, because then, you know, our energy field shrinks, then because it takes energy to create the chemicals of stress. So we're kind of like, you know, we need that vital energy in order to be in a place where all our systems are working in alignment and working in the way that we're created to operate. So so the energy field around us shrinks, we become more matter, less energy, and the body loses its charge. So this makes complete sense to me as a heart math coach, because we talk in terms of energy. So when we are feeling joy, feeling like all the elevated states, that charges our battery. Everything that depletes our energy, like stress, anger, frustration, all of those lower our energy. So we in heart math, there's tools, specific tools that we use, not as full-on meditations like Dr. Joe, but little shifts that we can do throughout the day to make sure that we're not draining energy. But so again, the model fits perfectly, because we are energy, and every time when we wake up, that's when we've charged our battery, and we are ready for the day with all this available energy. And as the day progresses, and if we fall into stressful patterns, we're drawing from that energy, and because it needs to be converted into chemistry. But if we allow ourselves to self-regulate our body, the way our reactions, the way we navigate life, then we stay charged. We stay fully, like our battery is actually, not being depleted, and perhaps like being recharged during the day. That is ideal. So after doing a blessing energy centers 4, then how to maintain it, that's where heart math, parenthesis on the commercial on heart math, because we do need to continue having this energy that we're really drawing in and bathing ourselves in after we meditate. So back to the notes. So this meditation is designed to raise our frequency in our body. So we unfold into the unified field. So after we're done with the 8, and then we connect and we allow that, you know, we're in the unified field, and we surrender to it, and we're deep immersed in it. The meditation is meant for us to unfold in this unified field, and to go deep into it, and then bring that energy back into our body. So basically, we're recharging from the unified field. And so it is an advanced meditation. It's designed to bring us back into wholeness, into oneness, into homeostasis. So the way it starts, the meditation, it starts with a song to pull the mind out of the body. We know that one. It is not fully the breath, the one. It's not that one, but it is similar to that, where we're pulling the mind out of the body, and we're running the energy up our spine into our brain, and beginning to free our body from the emotions that are stored in it. So we're freeing our body from the emotions, you know, with that first part, where, you know, we are focusing on, you know, if we've done the breath, where we're imagining that fluid up the spine. That's the first part of the meditation, meant to liberate the energy and we're beginning to create the electromagnetic field of our body. Then we breathe in for a period of time. It's like we're like settling into that, you know, that first motion of the deep breath. And then the music changes. And that's when we rest the attention in each energy center and climb up. We climb up each energy center. And he emphasizes on, you know, on what we know, the frequency of each energy center that has its own vibration, that has its own chemistry, that has its own hormones, its own consciousness, its own intent. They have their own message. They have their own neurological networks. They have their own mind. So in each one, you know, we focus on that convergent, divergent focus as we think about, like as we are aware of, sorry, not so much think about, but aware of this intelligence that resides in each energy center, and how they're all different. I think that's really super beautiful, especially energy centers 2. I love for that, because for some reason energy center 2, you know, we're really focusing on what each one of those energy centers represent, and creating a symbol for each one. So having that background, I can see how important it is to bring into energy center 4, because if we're really like, you know, it enhances this work by knowing how each energy center has its own mind, and maybe, you know, even being open to receiving what each energy center has to know and say, and then blessing it. So we're like in communion with our bodies, with each part of our bodies, and each intelligence, and the region that each energy center represents and brings to us. And so so he talks about receiving from that energy center as we move up. So again, as I shared with you, how the way it's different from 1 to 3 is that instead of going one by one, before we go to the next one, we also then tune into the ones that we have already blessed, and that then keep going up. So as we go up to 8, 16 inches above the head, and then we open up to the doors of the cosmos, and we unfold in that infinite, and this vast space where we unify with the unified field. We unite, we become one. Imagine all that energy out there, and then bringing that in, like becoming, but before you bring it in, before we draw it in, we're there, we're surrendering to it. We're in this greater consciousness. We fall deep into it. We become one with this unified field. And here we're becoming aware of greater degrees of love, of wholeness. And so I think that I'm excited to get to 8. And then once we get to 8, then just surrender there. Just float, fly, whatever we feel like. I love when he says, let it consume you. And, oh, by the way, there's also, what's really interesting, I hadn't fully become conscious of this until listening to this, and taking notes, is how each energy center has it gets faster in frequency as it rises. It totally makes sense. But, when you're sharing something, it just like clicks more. And that's why I love doing these and these explanations, because, we hear it from different places, right? And we hear it in different ways, then it clicks. Yeah, so each energy center, the higher, from 4 to 5, this one's faster. And then pineal gland faster, and then 7 faster, and then 8, and now imagine like beyond there. So we, once we're up there in space, in the unified field, we surrender to it, we trust it, then we take that energy as an awareness and bring it into our body. And then we're going down. Then we descend it. It's like we go backwards. We go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as we descend that, we're still aware of each energy center. We're still focusing on the part, the top of the head, the 7, what is it? And and if you have your symbols, like personally, this is not calling for the symbols, but if we've practiced 1, 2, and 3, we have that awareness for ourselves, like which, like you in your awareness, and you're paying attention to it, and in your knowing of what each one represents, there is that focus on its intelligence, on its vibration, on its chemistry, on its hormones, on its intent, on its messages, and of its neurological networks. Imagine the throat. What is it like? So as we're descending, the point is that we're aware of it, and then continuing to imagine that energy flowing down, as we're bringing it in. And so we have more energy, more wholeness, more balance, and when we're all the way down to 1 again, we bless our body, we thank it, and we know that then we've, like in his words, he said, we're drinking from the well of the divine and becoming more whole. I love that last part. We're drinking from the fountain of the divine, or the well of the divine, and becoming more whole. Yeah, so just explaining that makes me feel super energized. So is there any questions, any comments, or anything that I could help clarify? I hope that this has been helpful. We're doing it on Saturday. We are meditating and synchronizing with all of you who want to participate at 5 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. There's a list of the different time zones wherever you are in the world, and it is an advanced meditation. So it's encouraged that you again have a little bit of background, but hopefully if this is the first time, or you haven't practiced the previous ones, that at least that's why I like to do these explanations, to at least give us some reference and know what to expect, and yeah, hopefully deepen our practice. So I don't see any questions or comments, but yeah, I'm excited to do this with you. And if you're watching this as a recording, we always have meditations coming up in our schedule. Just go into the events, or to there's a calendar that I'll be sharing at least for May. Today is the 22nd already of April, so the 27th we'll do this one. And yeah, so I'm if you're watching this as a recording, you can always join the gym. It's free. By the way, that just reminded me of yesterday was Walk for the World, and it was absolutely amazing. It was beautiful. Here in the Lake Oswego, Portland metropolitan area, people came from around, and we walked as one. We walked as the whole imparts and part of the whole, and really, it's just a beautiful thing when conscious people get together, and we just really, like, there's a camaraderie that just instantaneously happens, because we are in it for different reasons. Everyone comes from with a wanting to heal, wanting to expand, wanting to grow in different ways, and it's really getting beyond ourselves, or our egos, or our of our agendas. Is just like wanting to learn, expand, be in community. It's a beautiful thing. So I encourage you in your cities to connect with others. It's a beautiful thing to do it in person. It's different, but if you can't, this is your community. I really want you to feel part of this place, this platform, to be your community, to be a place where you can talk, share anything that you want. There's nothing off limits, and that's one thing that we've been finding after our meditations. They're not recorded. They're in live time, in real time. We've synchronized people from Australia, from Zimbabwe, from New York. We all come together and we share our experience, and the sharing really is so enriching, because it's not about what we it really is not about the ego, ourselves, the individual. It's about us reaching higher frequencies, higher levels of wanting to love more, to heal, to trust, and we learn from each other. It's definitely something that we can't do alone. We need each other. Our love and energy is what I believe expands us, and like yesterday, it was just so palpable how each one of us is so unique, irreplicable. Like, there's no one else like us, but yet we're part of everyone. So we all matter. We all matter, and as we ascend together, it's just so fun to do it with others, and to see our beauty and our uniqueness, and and to accept ourselves exactly as we are, because we have this, we have our heart that connects us and that already knows. There's a knowing that is there of that we're oneness or wholeness. So thank you so much for tuning in today, and I'm excited for Saturday, and I will see you around here. Please, if you're watching this as a recording, subscribe, like, share, and join the gym. All right, bye for now. Lots of love.